Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. The moral of the story that we are going to discuss today is a very simple one: money over morals. But in today's video, we are going to look at the stories behind this phrase. So without any further ado, let's get started with the first story. In 1967, an Italian man went missing. A few days after he disappeared, his wife received a ransom note demanding 20 million lira for her husband's safe return. She contacted the police, who eventually found out that the kidnappers were none other than her husband's brothers. His wife paid the ransom money, but when the police caught up with the brothers, they learned something shocking. The brothers had killed their own brother and had no intention of returning him alive. They had only written the ransom note so that they could extort money from their sister-in-law. This case was a prime example of money over morals. Welcome to our channel. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video to get updates about our latest videos. No. 1. The CEO who scammed investors. A few years ago, a tech company went public and its shares shot through the roof. On the first day of trading, the company's market cap was $1 billion. Everyone wanted to get in on the action and make a quick buck. But what investors didn't realize was that the company, a CEO, had been cooking the books and had no intention of using the money to grow the business. Instead, he pocketed tens of millions of dollars and lived a lavish lifestyle. When the truth finally came out, the stock price plummeted and the company was forced to file for bankruptcy. In this case, the CEO's morals were certainly put to the test, but he chose money over morals every step of the way. Number 2, the corrupt politician. A politician was in a tight spot. He needed to raise money for his campaign, but he was running out of time and ideas. Then he had a corrupt thought. Why not sell political favors to the highest bidder? So he started making backroom deals and accepting bribes. And before long, he had raised enough money to win the election. But once he was in office, he quickly forgot about his constituents and started serving his corrupt masters. In this case, the politician chose money over morals, and it cost him everything. Number 3. The businessman who exploited workers. A businessman was looking for a way to cut costs and increase profits. He was thinking about laying off workers or decreasing salaries, but he didn't want to risk losing good employees. Then he had a sinister thought. Why not take advantage of workers by exploiting them? So he started paying less than minimum wage and forcing employees to work long hours for no overtime pay. He also cut corners on safety measures and products to save money. But eventually his workers saw through his scheme and went on strike. In this case, the businessman chose money over morals, and it cost him everything. Number 4. The doctor who prescribed unnecessary medicine. A doctor was faced with a difficult situation. He had a patient who needed medicine, but he couldn't prescribe it because it was too expensive. The patient begged the doctor to prescribe the medicine anyway, saying that they would figure out a way to pay for it later. The doctor was torn. On one hand, he wanted to help his patient, but on the other hand, he didn't want to break the law. Ultimately, he decided to play dirty and prescribe the medicine while knowing full well that the patient couldn't afford it. In this case, the doctor chose money over morals, and it cost him everything. No. 5. The company that polluted the environment. A company was faced with a tough decision. They could either invest in clean energy or continue polluting the environment. They knew that continuing to pollute would eventually catch up with them, but they were hoping that it wouldn't happen anytime soon. So they decided to take the cheaper option and keep polluting the environment. But eventually their actions caught up with them, and they were forced to pay a hefty fine. In this case, the company chose money over morals, and it cost them everything. Number 6. The cheating spouse. A spouse was faced with a difficult situation. They had been married for years and had children, but they were unhappy in their marriage. They had tried everything to fix things, but nothing seemed to work. And then they met someone else. At first it was just a fling, but soon it became more serious. The cheater was torn. On one hand, they loved their spouse and didn't want to hurt them, but on the other hand, they couldn't deny their feelings for someone else. Ultimately, they decided to cheat on their spouse and destroy their family. In this case, the cheating spouse chose money over morals, and it cost them everything. Number 7. The liar. A person was faced with a difficult situation. They'd been lying to their friends and family for years, and the lies were catching up to them. They knew that if the truth came out, they would be exposed, but they couldn't stop lying. After all, it was too late. so they decided to keep lying and hope that no one would ever find out. But eventually the truth did come out, and the liar was exposed. In this case, the liar chose money over morals, and it cost them everything. Number 8. The thief. A person was faced with a difficult situation. They needed money, but they didn't want to work for it. And then they saw something that caught their eye. It was a wallet lying on a table unattended. The thief knew that taking it would be wrong, but the temptation was too much. So they took the wallet and ran away with it. But eventually they were caught and brought to justice. In this case, the thief chose money over morals, and it cost them everything. Number 9. The tax evader. A person was faced with a difficult situation. They owed money to the government, but they didn't want to pay their fair share. And then they had a corrupt thought. Why not evade taxes? So they started hiding money and lying on tax returns. But eventually they were caught and fined. In this case, the tax evader chose money over morals, and it cost them everything. Number 10. The murderer. A person was faced with a difficult situation. They had a loved one who was sick, but they couldn't afford their medical bills. And then they had a dark thought. Why not kill the loved one and collect the insurance money? So they did it and tried to collect the insurance money. But eventually they were caught and sent to prison. In this case, the murderer chose money over morals, and it cost them everything. And that's it for today's video. We hope you enjoyed these stories. Please share your thoughts with us. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel to be the first to watch our new videos. Thank you for watching.